This is J. Krishnamurti's 8th discussion with teachers at Brockwood Park, 1980.
I wonder if you have thought about when we last met, what we talked about.
I think quite a bit, Krishnamurti. I think some of us have quite a bit.
And what is your conclusion or your opinions about it? That we should gradually ease off 14, 15, 16, then have from 17 on, and also have here other people who are not us, who will be part of a discussion, and so on. We discuss this. Right? So what do you all think about it?
Could I propose an amendment?
You can propose anything, sir, and God disposes.
Then it's not on the basis of age that we would decide whether or not a student was here, but on the basis of how serious he was and how much he really wanted to be here doing this with us, so that even if someone was 16, if it was somebody who was really very good, then they should be here.
You would all accept that, wouldn't we?
Even if he was 14.
But it would be on that basis that we would eliminate students, and not on the basis of age.
Right.
Well, I think I'd like to make an amendment to that too. that is possible. That it is not on the basis of age only, but that we generally let it be known that we're really not receiving 14-year-olds, but those that we may have, who may be 14, 15, 16 or 17, we would go into it from that point of view.
Mm-hmm. Who are interested.
Who are interested and show, who implement it in their lives.
Yes.
I mean, we're all in agreement then.
In fact, I have this day 3 people, I have said, at the suggestion of all the staff, 3 people who have asked to come back for those very reasons have not been. I've had to tell them no. And I tried to tell them and explain to them why. All 3, Aitor, Bessie and Francesca, now all no.
But I thought that 16 was the limit because it was over school age.
School leaving.
What is it?
No, 16 is, I think, officially the school leaving age in England. So it helps not to have them below 16.
Yes. That's what you're saying.
So in effect then, we're, academically speaking, we're cutting out ordinary level education.
Right.
I would say so, yes. And you see, that's why we have to not receive new students at 14, because if not, we've got to keep a staff that is going to be involved in doing all that for a fewer number of people. So it's better that it is eased out, and that 14-year-olds who are serious, as I can think of several students, who are really at the 16-year age of academic level. It almost invariably goes. So that there won't be so much pre-O-level and O-level work at all. In fact, there won't be any eventually, I would say.
I can't imagine 14-year-olds starting an A-level course or
not an A-level. No, not an A-level. But
so what would they do in academic?
Well, they'd be working on their own. We have a staff that are able to do that, but they won't be so pressed with so many classes.
I feel also that we shouldn't make academics a priority somehow, that the academics should, and I think probably will, fall into place because of the interest in the student in other things, really. I feel we shouldn't sort of run it. I think one of the difficulties is running it, saying we're doing O and A levels, and then tying ourselves to that. And I think something else ought to come before that. That their interest in wanting to be here should come before that, and then we sort out what we're going to do in terms of work.
That's going to be difficult. That's going to be quite difficult because you see they are still being educated. You see, that is the difficulty. So I feel we've got to find out how to not lose the idea of a learning centre. We could change it from a school to a learning centre. And really, that I've been feeling that we would like to really go beyond the A level altogether. I would like people to come here with the ABC finished with. Somebody else has done that. Other schools have done that.
We have to be a little bit careful in the sense that our charter is, I've forgotten the exact word,
Education,
as a school, and it also has a clause in it which takes in adult education, but we get tremendous tax or considerable tax benefit because we are a school. And if we could just not violate the wording of that. I don't remember it well enough to technically describe it, but that's something to watch out.
But technically, it's not merely that we're a school. We are registered as a charity.
Yes.
And a charity can be a school, but it needn't be.
Well, in our particular case, it is defined. There is a wording which implies a school as the primary thing, and then as a secondary goings on, there is adult, some kind of adult education.
Yes, we shouldn't get any difficulty in getting a charitable status for it.
Are you suggesting that we get rid of classes, Dorothy?
In a way, I am. I'd like it radically to change in how we teach. I don't think we're really sort of revolutionary enough in how we teach. And I think if we really did it this way, we had students who, out of their awakened intelligence already, responded to all that Krishnamurti is saying, would also respond to learning in a different way. And so with fewer students, you could teach them in a different way, in a more open way. Not for the class here for OA class or another one for O2 class, but that you was a more open, interrelated education. In the living, more in the living that you're actually doing that day and term.
Rather like we've been trying to do with general studies.
Yes, that's exactly it. Break down the walls that divide all the separate subjects.
Because at present, for a 15-year-old, they want 5 or 6 O-level subjects.
Well, that's in England, you see.
Yes, we are in England.
You must provide that.
If we take them at that age, you see, they've got special to get those exams. So.
Well, I think another point that comes into this is that up until the present, and now also,
Did you suggest it? I didn't take it.
She mentioned it.
Sorry.
Up until the present, and now also, there are quite a number of students who are here because of their parents' interest in what you were saying, sir, and not out of their own interest.
No, I know that.
It's out of their parents' interest, and often they're not interested at all, really, or very marginally. So it would be one essential shift would be that it would have to be the individual student himself who declared his interest, showed it, and he came of his own interest and not out of the parents' interest. I think that would make a big difference too.
But Stephen, supposing Supposing I'm a parent and I have a child who's 14 and I talk with that child and the child says, look, I'm really interested in going to Brockwood Park. And I talked it over with the child and I'm convinced that yes, my child wants to go to Brockwood Park. Then, I mean, would there be a place for this child of 14 to come here?
Probably no.
Well, I rather regret that. I mean, I think that sometimes we have students of 14 who bring a great deal to the community.
No, it's not a question of age, Brian. The child might be 14 and be genuinely interested.
Mm-hmm.
If it's his own interest, then that's all right. But not if it's the parents'
I agree
interest
with
which
you.
is pushing him here. That's
Of
all.
course.
That's
of
the
course.
point.
He is really interested, right? But then I'm hearing from Dorothy that there would be no place for him here.
Well, there wouldn't be a place, I feel, to include him immediately. Simply, you have to say, if not, we're going to have to carry on the same way, you see. We're going to have classes of pre-
Well, I don't know that we would. I really don't know that we would. I mean...
Well, you would for a 14-year-old. And also, you're still keeping it as a child who is having to have everything added onto them, so to speak, rather than saying, look, I'm talking to an adult person. And that is what the whole place is sort of structured in a way that says, I can talk to you as a one-to-one as another human being. And the fact is, with a 14-year-old, for the nine times out of 10, you cannot.
Well, I agree with you 9 times out of 10 you cannot, but I'm still saying, isn't there a place for a 14-year-old, a 16-year-old, 18-year-old who has that maturity, and the exams is not important to him?
I'm sure
Well, that
there's
might be so.
exceptions. I'm sure
Might be
there
so,
are
but
all sorts of
I think
exceptions.
it's confusing if you press it too much.
So what we're saying is that we won't have O-levels and A-levels,
No.
but we will offer academic courses
Yes,
For-
there's still what used to.
that are still wanted and that are still...
Yes,
that we want to give.
but that it's taken in a different way. That we as teachers, those teaching, will be able to teach in a different way. Instead of going from one class to the next, it will be more possible to teach in a whole way.
If you rule out A-levels completely, does that mean that no student coming from Brockwood can ever go to university?
Well, in some countries they don't need the O and A levels.
Well, in the country that we're in,
Won't this be better than university? University is only a name.
no, Doris, I question it. I'm not saying you can't weigh one against the other, but you may have a brilliant child, a young person.
Well, they won't belong here, will they?
Well, why not?
Well,
I mean,
because
are
they
we
want,
then
they want to
saying
excel
all
in some
brilliant,
profession.
very intelligent young people go away, don't come near Brockwood. We only take
When you
those.
say very intelligent, you mean brilliant. Yes, scholastically brilliant. I don't think that really is very important.
It could go together with the other.
It might go together.
Yes, I mean one shouldn't rule out.
No, I don't rule it out.
But you would be ruling it out if you cannot supply the education that young person may want.
I'm not even sure that you wouldn't be able to supply it.
Well, that's what I'm asking, really.
I'm wondering whether, in that case, it seems to me that there's a difference between treating something as an exception and treating something as a rule. At the moment, we treat O and A levels as a rule, not an exception. Whereas it would possibly we would be able to probably treat an A level as an exception, but not as the rule and not as the way that we teach in a certain sense. I mean, I feel at the moment that we structure really nearly everything around O and A levels.
Yes.
Whereas it would be possible to do something where we include an A level, but not make that the whole way that the school is structured.
Yes, and that a student is able to study with a member of staff or with staff, but is able to study on his or her own somewhat. And eventually they may say, yes, I've gone into this, I've really learnt about this particular thing, that's what interests me. And then, because I want to go on to university, I will take an A-level, because I've got to get A-levels.
Even some universities will take a project instead of A-levels.
Yes, they will.
Even the universities are not necessarily so
Yes.
reactionary in their thinking either. I mean, many will take an interesting project rather than an A-level.
Yeah.
And there are schools that are doing it too.
So I think one ought to have the courage to come out and say that if we feel the exam system involves all that it does, then why are we teaching in that way? Really, I mean, I feel we're a bit weak-kneed around it, actually.
And I think it's also important to consider what happens to us. What happens to us?
Well, I think, you see, there's a lot of as a teacher, it's very, if you feel that you've got the strictures of exams on you.
Yes, but suppose we've relieved ourselves of that, then what happens to us?
Well, I think we're under a lot of challenge. I think we're under much more of a challenge, actually.
Yeah.
I think it would, in fact, challenge you much more to teach in a different way.
I'm not putting a spanner in this discussion, but I'd like to ask, if I may, what is the intention of Brockwood? If you don't have 14, 15 and so on, what is the purpose? If I use the word purpose, not a goal, not an end and so on, what is the deep intention of Brockwood? Please.
Did you say in relation to 14 and 15?
Huh?
Did you say in relation to 14 and 15?
No. I said, leave, don't discuss age at present. What is, if you're not admitting certain type of students and so on, then what is the basis of this Brockwood? What is the intention of all of us? Is it a place for selected people who are interested in these things? A club which only admits those who are approved of? Or is it an ashrama, if I may use that word? I'll explain what that word means, which is, in Sanskrit, means a place of retreat, a place where human beings go to meditate, to discuss, to, all that. What is the intention of all of us here? The Brockwood is or must be.
But it's more a retreat, Krishna, or an ashram.
Is that what you all want?
There's something about that bothers me a little bit.
I withdraw that word.
Yes, a whole thing about retreat.
I know. I withdraw that word.
Yes, but I mean,
a place.
We could call it that now.
Huh?
We could call it this group of people, I have always thought of as being that. But what has happened, I feel, that so much energy has gone into the fact that it's also a school that made it viable, possible.
So are you suggesting, I'm just asking, no school?
Not no school, but reduce it to its right proportion and do it in a more courageous way.
Reduce it to right proportion.
Yes.
And then what?
Well, you can't do it. You can't do it in a vacuum, and I think probably Scott's holding back a little on ashram.
I withdraw that for throwing it out of the window.
It is an educational centre, if you like, or an adult centre.
It's an educational centre.
It's a place where we're going forward in trying to look at the implications of the teachings and trying to put them into daily life, trying to realize something that perhaps we can realize together in a way that hasn't been done before.
Then how would you...
And that can include younger people. It can be done simultaneously with teaching a class in history or with doing a lot of other things.
So in that case, why is the change necessary?
Because the emphasis is on school. Now it's on school, and the emphasis should be on going into these teachings and trying to do something wholeheartedly and whole-mindedly there, and not spending our time on keeping children in the house after 10 and music and problems like that.
And also to include And also to include more comprehensively older people.
Well, I'll come to that presently. But what is the purpose? I won't answer my question. A group of us here, what do we want this place to be? If each one of us were not afraid to express, not shy, what would we like each one of us this place should be?
Well, sir, a place whose sole interest is going into the teachings.
Is that what...
And trying to put that into daily life.
Yes, sir, you've said that. But is that what's the common interest of all of us?
This is always
common ground on which we all stand?
Sorry.
Could we work from that end, you know what I mean? Not from the school end, and then see what implies, how much money is needed to maintain this place, and so on. But we are now working from this end, the school end. I don't know if I'm making
everything is geared at the moment, I feel, to the school.
Huh?
I feel most of our energies is geared to running a school, and that is becoming, I think, clearer that is out of balance with what is wanted to be done.
So you want a balance between those of us who are here, who are interested in other things, plus some time for the so-called school.
Yes, yes. But we ourselves can go on discovering and learning also.
I understand that.
I feel we're on a treadmill.
So how do you make a proportion of this? There are so many of us here. We're all poor. You understand my question?
Yes.
I don't, sir. Can you explain it?
Huh?
I don't understand.
How do you maintain this place?
How do we maintain ourselves?
If you get rid of all the school boys.
Well, I don't foresee getting rid of all.
I want to find out.
By about half.
That means what? 30?
30, say.
30 from the ages of what?
It doesn't make any difference.
No, all right. Don't let it from the age. 30.
30 students that seem as though they really have some feeling for
Yes,
this.
yes.
Krishnaji, if I might answer your question about maintaining the place. Supposing I hadn't come to Brockwood and I'd remained in Brighton, and I'd have got a job there, I'd have worked for some years, and then I heard about this place, Brockwood Park, where adults can go and spend time. I think that I would be willing to work hard and make some money, and then come here for a month, 2 weeks, a month, or maybe longer, and pay money for staying here.
So just
and have discussion groups, do some work here.
I understand that, sir. I want to come to that point a little later, if you don't mind. Which is, we say now about 30. All of us, with 30.
30 plus us.
30 students plus 30 staff.
Students.
Yes, 30 plus. With all of us,
Yes.
30 students.
Yes. 30 students.
And all of us.
Yes.
Right.
Might want to come temporarily. Is that on top?
That's on top.
Now, I don't want to come to that. Forgive me for a minute. I want to be clear so that we can all talk about it.
Staff and 30 students.
Present staff and 30 students.
30 staff.
Huh?
30 staff.
Whatever the staff. 30 staff and 30 students. And the students, you all choose. Is that it? As you are doing now, you all are responsible for the choice of students and further staff you need. You are responsible for that. All of you together. Is that it? I want to be clear. I'm asking a question. Please, just answer me. Huh? So that one point. Second, what is your relationship to a man who says, I hear you are all seriously concerned with the teachings and so on and so on. I'd like to come and spend a month here to discuss with you and be with you, not as a teacher, not as a member of the staff or a student, but I'd like to be here to discuss, to be with you all who seem to be serious about these matters. And what is your relationship to such a person? Do you, as a staff, choose him? You understand my question?
Well, if someone's going to come here for
a month.
A month.
Or 2 months, says month.
We don't really choose. We
come to the I want to know first. A man from Bristol says, I'm coming here I hear all this, I'm coming here for a month. I'll pay for my way, etc., etc., etc. And I'll help in the garden, whatever it is. What is your relationship to that man? And do you all choose that man? You follow? Say we must all be consulted before he comes here. Or that man, who decides who shall come here? That's my point.
Well, if that person has taken the trouble to find out about this,
yes, I've taken the trouble.
Well, then he's really chosen himself, hasn't he?
I'm saying that I've taken the trouble to come from
well, then we'll
Edinburgh.
Say yes, come for a month or 2 months.
Wait a minute now, you're not answering my question. I come from Edinburgh. I've changed from Bristol. And I write to Mrs. Simmons, I'd like to come here and spend a month and a half, because I hear all very serious people, and I'm interested in these teachings, etc. Now, who chooses him? Are you all responsible for him, for his coming or not coming?
Well, it wouldn't be very practical to choose. It wouldn't be very practical to choose him, because we wouldn't know what he was like.
So that's what I'm just asking you, sir.
So he would choose himself, and we would have to. If we wanted him, we would say yes to him.
No, I'm a man from Edinburgh. You don't know me.
Well, generally, so I think the way it generally works is that people come down for a weekend or so, and we get to meet him. That person stays on or not.
I'm asking you a question, please. I come to you for a week. You invite me. Do you all choose?
Well, in practice, some of the people will be people we'll know already from the gatherings or...
This is a serious question I'm asking, sir. Look,
Krishnamurti, I'm not so sure that it's a question of choice. Either the person seems right for here, and then we'll be in agreement.
Who will... No, you may not agree with him. He might be...
If we're here
I don't know, he might be...
well, if there's obviously something wrong with him...
No, I don't mean wrong. I don't mean wrong.
Well, so far we governed it by saying a limited time, and then go by how on meeting him we respond to him or he goes towards us.
So I'm asking you all decide whether I should come or not.
Not really.
It's more that if there's... After someone is here, if there's not some terrible objection to his staying...
No, you're missing my point. Of course, I'm a very pleasant man. You all like me from Edinburgh, and you choose me. Is that it? No. You all choose me?
I'm sorry, I do object to the word choosing or choice. I mean...
Well, we all say yes.
We say yes. If you're a very good person to have
so
here,
you,
we say
you
yes.
decide.
Yes.
I want to know this. I am not sure I would agree with you.
Yes, first he writes. First we can't say anything because we don't know him.
So, really, from his handwriting, from how he writes, from intimations, from gestures he's made, a decision has come to us. And we write back and say yes. Many people one doesn't say yes to. No. I don't say yes to because I get the letters. That is in fact what happens, isn't it? You don't know who was asked to come.
I suspect Krishnamurti is asking a different question. I feel he's asking, are we all, if he's going to come, are we all going to welcome him?
No, sir, not only that. I'm not concerned whether you welcome me or not. I want to come here from Edinburgh or from Maidenhead to be with you, study, discuss. And you say, come here for a week, we will vet you. Right? Is that what you're going to do?
I'm not sure.
If he's only coming for a month. If he's only coming for a month.
I'm a month and a half too. I want to know your attitude about this.
Sir, are you asking that, supposing this man starts asking very pertinent questions about our behaviour, about certain people?
He might.
He might, right. And if he starts, and are you asking that if he starts getting sort of very close to the bone, that...
No, you are not. I'm not. How do you decide who shall come, who shall not come?
I think it's a question of who shall stay, Krishnamurti. Isn't it rather a question of who shall stay rather than who shall come?
You are staying, apparently. You are all the people here. And a man comes from France or Germany or America or somebody. He said, I hear there is this place going and I'm awfully interested in all this. I'd like to come there for a month or two. I'll pay my way, etc., etc. How do you decide?
Well, at the moment, Dorothy decides.
Wait. But is that what you're going to... Here, you're all decide who shall a teacher. You follow what I mean? As member of the staff, you all unanimously or generally agree.
That's a permanent. That's more or less permanent.
Permanent.
This isn't.
No. So I want to know, you're not answering my question.
Well, if we tried to do that with these visitors, we'd all have to read all the letters that go through the office.
Is this what you're going to do?
No. That doesn't seem practical.
Are you suggesting that maybe we should somewhat change the policy so that if a person is interested, then that's his place? Not that we choose him. I mean, not permanently.
No. Suppose I'm interested and I've come here to exploit it. But I pretend to be awfully interested.
Well, we don't know you.
You can't, I'm pretty good at acting. You can't spot me. No, I just want to know on what basis you're going to decide things. Either you say, I'm just suggesting, I'm not saying you should or should not, that this is a matter that Mrs. Simmons should decide. Who come, or who, apart from us, apart from the new staff member or whatever it is, apart from all that, she says, come here, we'll see what you're like for a week, and if you're really interested, we are going to decide. Not all of us, she. That's what I'm asking.
Well, Krishnamurti, Dorothy has always worked in the past in that kind of way, but she's also consulted us.
I know, this is not a consultation here.
I mean, I'm not demanding the consultation, but I'm saying that sometimes she herself needs that consultation.
Yes, maybe, but she may consult you, she may ask advice, she may say, but the final choice is with her.
That seems to be very reasonable.
Not with all of you. Be careful what I'm saying.
I don't follow you.
She said specifically it's not with all of us.
I'm asking. I'm asking. So wait a minute. I write to her a letter from America saying there is Mr. Timmerbob who is coming and I know all about him. I write to her. I write to her about his life, his family, which is private, concerning him and me. And he says, I want to come to Brockwood. And I said to her, he seems a good man. Please. Now, you meet him and you all decide no. You follow my point? You follow, sir?
I think that one person has kind of the inside information on that person and says yes, and then when that person shows up here, we, without that information, say no.
Yeah. No, you won't have that information.
We won't have that information.
No, of course not.
And we
it's
say no.
Private life.
Yes, and we say no to him, not
Yeah.
knowing about his private
Then,
life.
then you will be in a position of deciding who shall come, who shall not come.
Well, by that time, he's already here.
For a week he's here.
Yes.
It means endless meetings and discussions.
And that's what I'm trying to find out, what you all say.
It seems that we then would spend all our energies on that instead
God,
of
no,
on school.
I'm just asking, what is your...
I think we'll have to, surely we trust in the person who has the first contact. If once the person is here and during the week he really shows himself to be not suitable, it'll be clear to everyone. There'll be no argument about it. Well, I don't know.
Oh, it has been.
Are you answering my question?
Krishnamurti, I don't see there's any problem. If that person, after a month, said, now I want to be on the staff...
I know, staff... Oh.
I mean, there seems to be no problem. The person, we've had so many, all sorts of odd people.
I know.
And we can deal with that.
I'm one of the odd people.
Yes.
And I want to stay here for a month or a month and a half. Not just, I'll work, garden, carpentry, whatever is needed, I will do all the things. But I want to stay here with a group of people who are apparently serious, with whom I would like to discuss every other day, and so on. But I want to be serious with a certain group of people. Do you all decide do you decide who shall be here, or leave it to Mrs. Simmons and say, look...
Definitely, it's such a waste of time otherwise.
I'm just asking, old boy.
I feel if it is for a very long period, maybe we should look at it. If it is for a long period, if it is only for a short time, we cannot all decide.
What do you call long period?
Maybe 3 months, 4 months, because those persons will make Brockwood as the students do it. Now,
so, what do you call a long period? A year?
4 months, I would say that is already a long time out of 8.
So would you say a group of people can stay here for a couple of months? I'm just asking, Mr. D, find out about it. And they leave. Another group comes for another 2 months, and they leave.
And from that grouping, some
may teach, may not teach, may say, look, this I want to be here permanently, not as a staff. I'm just asking, you follow what I'm saying? What is your approach to this question? So that there are no difficulties afterwards. Because when I go to India and to California, I'm going to push this thing. Say at Brockwood, there is a group of people who are serious, to whom you can go and discuss and be with them for a month or 2 months. I'm going to say this.
Could we...
Just let me finish, if you don't mind. And I write to Mrs. Simmons and say, these are the people that want to come. Do you take a vote on it? No, be clear, please. So you leave it to Mrs. Huh?
I think anyone who comes for a short time.
She might ask advice, she might ask what your opinions, but it is her choice, her final.
Whether it's at the beginning or at the end doesn't make any difference.
What do you say, monsieur? Come on, sir.
Well, if it's at the end, it would. if it's at the end, it would probably be after a discussion with all of us, because we wouldn't ask anybody to leave unless there was something reprehensible about them. You see what I mean?
I can't hear this very strong.
If it were a person leaving, asked to leave, it would be with the consultation of all of us. Because we don't ask anybody to leave without consultation. I mean, we've never...
On the staff, wait a minute, on the staff you are right. But this man from Morocco says, I want to be here. You are not answering my question. I want to know definitely.
I don't quite see the problem there, sir.
Huh?
It seems to me that if there is a person like that, all of us, any of us, even Dorothy, would have to invite him to come here on the basis of incomplete knowledge of him. And so we would, all of us anyway, be running a certain risk in his coming that he may turn out not to be a serious person.
So,
but as long as it's for a short time, it's okay.
Apart from staff, apart from what is the usual norm here, choosing staff, and students, I'm asking a different question altogether. That's you settle all that amongst yourselves. A man comes from Morocco, writes to me and says, I want to come to Brockwood because there are a group of serious people. I pass the letter on to Mrs. Simmons, and does she finally decide?
I think it would be impractical for anything else to happen. It would be impractical.
Do you all agree to this?
Yes.
Are you quite sure?
Except that after 1 month, if he's been here and we begin to feel...
And she'll say, she will then say, look, what do you all think? Yes. And I don't think he's right, so we'll push him off. Yes. But she has the final voice. She decides.
The initial voice and the ultimate one, and in between, in this consultation, anybody saying,
backwards and forwards.
Yes. And if something Dorothy doesn't know, and the person is, I don't know what, smoking pot all over this place, you come and tell her. But
you understand?
Ultimately, it's up to you.
About 50 years ago, when we had the castle in Holland, we did this. A group of people came for a fortnight, 3 weeks, I've forgotten the exact number of days, and they left. Another group came for a certain period, and they left. And there were a lot of jealousies. We want to stay because this marvelous, not only the place was really very beautiful, like here, and also we are interested, we give you so much money, and so on, so on. May I stay another 2 months? We said no. And so on. Is this what you want to do?
Mr. Krishnamurti, I feel that'll be much more the problem, that somebody may come here and some of us may be impressed by that person and then want them to stay on.
How she decides the matter. I want to be clear on this point.
I think the difficulty would be that people will want to come and settle down.
Look,
be suitable at all. That would be everybody's problem.
If you are having only 30 students and present people here, you have plenty of room, right? And you say we have so many rooms and so many people can come here for a month or 2 months, and they pay and they work. They don't sit around moon or...
They participate.
But the choice, if I may use that word, depends on Mrs. Simmons. Do you all agree to that?
Krishna, do you see it working a little bit in the way that we've run the seminars up to this point, in which people come and stay for a while and they help?
Seminar is only for 4 or 5 days.
Right, but perhaps extended...
No, this is a month and a half or 2 months.
Yes.
It's much more, intimate. You have to...
People say Krishnamurti goes to India and talks to it. You can't come for 4 or 5 days from India, you see. So I think you've got to modify it and have different sort of courses for a different set of people.
But I mean, we're not thinking of, say, somebody coming for a period and then somebody else coming. We're thinking of a number of people coming for a period of time.
A limited period of time.
Yes.
If not, we're in the same boat.
But we'd set up something for them to come to.
Not too defined. I mean, if you say you have to leave at the end of a week or a month, it's too cut and dry, in a way. A limited time, but unspecified.
I think it ought to be specified.
Well, you can specify it in the particular, but not as a rule.
No.
I mean, if it's not somewhat structured, then it might become a bit messy.
It is structured in the sense that whoever comes here works physically. And we all have, because you'll have more time, more leisure, all of you, and he joins you in discussion, serious talks and all the rest of it. But he stays or doesn't stay depends on Mrs. Sims.
I think anyone who comes should specify the date on which they will leave.
What?
Anyone who comes says they're going to stay for 6 weeks or 2 months, at the end of which they will leave, unless... But
that we can decide, that's a matter of detail. But
I think that people can't come and feel, because they have been invited to come, that they're here for good.
Yes.
Oh no,
that
that's
must be
understood.
made quite clear.
That's understood.
But it must be made quite clear, because that very quickly takes over.
Oh yes, I know. So, do we all agree to this? That Mrs. Simmons, I deputize Mrs. Simmons to be in charge of that. Do you agree to that?
Yes.
What do you feel about it, Jonathan?
Well, it's the way we do it in any case.
Yes.
But it would save a lot of time if I hadn't to go around. But lead it in the way that one does pick up feelings, what you're thinking and feeling about things. But in relation with the whole place, yes, I do.
No, I get smiling because that was one of the things when the cloisters was first built. We were also worried how it would happen, that people would rotate. We had almost a similar conversation many years ago.
Yes.
And we were all frightened how to get the people out or how it would rotate. I think we must just live it. I mean, it seems a little bit...
Well, I think we found out how...
So do I, through the students. We're not very much older.
You see what this means? Huh? You'll have not only the present, all of us, and 30 students, and how many more can you have here?
Well, at least 30, probably 40.
More people?
Yes.
Apart from you and students? Yes. 40. Do you know the whole...
It's a very crowded atmosphere that we now have.
No, wait, that's what I'm asking you. Go slow in this matter.
I think we should have
The whole character of this place changes if you have 40 extra people.
Yeah. I mean, if we have people coming for seminars, as it were, coming for a period of time for a series of discussions and seminars and so forth, and taking part in the school.
Not in the school, they can't teach.
In Brockwood here. That if that was the case, then I think we could take 40, but we would need to take 40 and then take a break.
Yes, sir, of course. That's all understood.
And then we're back again to 30 of us and 30 of the students. But to have 40 here all the time, I think that would be really too much.
Otherwise we'll be worse off than we are now.
Exactly.
That's what So
we'll have to find out how to balance it and how to do it. I mean,
you see, in Holland...
What we're asking is what President Truman said, the buck stops here. Are we agreeing that the buck stops there?
That's all, sir. That's all I want to know. The buck stops with the President of America. In Brockwood, in Holland, when we had the castle, I've forgotten how many rooms there were. I think either Rajgopal and I decided who should come, or one or two of us decided, and they had to leave at a certain time. Some stayed because I've forgotten various reasons, and those who stayed created a lot of jealousy because the others were leaving, these were staying. Why can't I stay? Why you are favorites? Why would you?
But didn't it all then start on a certain date and go to a certain date? This will be,
Yes.
will be coming at odd amounts of time.
No.
So
I
it won't
would
be
no.
everybody leaving and everybody at the same
No,
time.
I'd say that's a matter of we can work this out. I come back, does Mrs. Simmons does the buck stop there? And if she does, then she decides how many, etc., etc., etc. And at the end of a certain time, they all leave. And a gap, so as we can all have rest and change, another group. Is that what we all think?
That would assume that everybody comes on a certain date and all that group leave at the same time.
Yes.
I'm suggesting someone may come for a weekend, someone may come for a month, and in between that, some other.
No, it's very
people,
difficult,
so
my dear.
they'll all be coming and going at different times.
It's very difficult. Suppose a man comes here at the end of 2 weeks with the others and wants to discuss from the beginning again. It becomes a... You follow what I'm saying?
Yes, but then you have the other problem, which is that every fresh batch, everyone in this room will have to begin at the beginning again. We'll find a way of meeting this matter.
I think we've got to go into how it will be done, and we really haven't given enough attention to it yet, Christian.
Huh?
I think we haven't given enough attention to how it
we
will
haven't.
be done.
No.
But I think it has moved quite considerably since it was first proposed. But
You see, moment this is known, all in different parts of the world, you'll have many people want to come here. Unquestionably, you'll have so many people.
Krishnaji, it seems like there's two possible ways that this can be done, and I'm trying to find out which way you think is best. One is that the whole group comes all at once and leaves all at once, or that there is space, let's say for 20 people, and if I'm a man and I only have 3 weeks of vacation a year, I can only come for 3 weeks. But when I leave, can someone else then come and take my place? So there's space for 20 people who come and go at the rhythms of their demands
that can
and our
be
requests.
worked out in detail later on.
But do you see one way as being preferable to another?
I don't know. That's I can't.
We might even have to do the two things: get to know people by a short visit, and then
come back for
saying yes, we'd like that person to go into a thing more deeply with them, and have an actual sort of seminar here, and by invitation.
So it means 30, 40, what number? School plus present group.
Yes.
And those who come work physically, not just sit around gossip.
And psychologically.
Huh?
In every way.
In every way, of course. So it will be, will the character, the atmosphere of this place change? I don't see why you should. I'm just asking. Please join me. Don't go.
I must say, I hadn't thought in terms of having 30 or 40 people here at all. I feel that the difference about moving into this other thing would be partly keeping the numbers very small, and at least at the beginning having only very, very few visitors, because I think we haven't managed to work together as a group and to keep the numbers small.
Yeah, I see definite. I see
Well,
real.
I
see real dangers.
What is the danger?
I see real dangers in having 30 guests.
Straight away, but you might, when Krishnaji's here, I see having seminars. But we might go much more slowly, as Christina says, keeping it, not moving too quickly and too largely with the numbers at first. But we've also got to balance the fact that we've got to financially exist too.
Yes.
You see, you have to balance that out too. It would be marvellous to say, yes, let's keep it small, let's work together.
Be careful. It becomes again another club.
it's so Krishnamurti, but it has to be balanced
No,
out also.
but think it out carefully, this thing.
Agreed. But it is one of the difficulties of the place.
Sir, Dr. Baum, what do you say, sir?
Well, I think that we have to be careful about the numbers because they become unmanageable past a certain point. I mean, nobody knows anybody else. I mean, I find it hard to imagine dealing with 30 people continuously and, constantly changing and getting to know them.
Plus run the school.
Yeah.
You see, we might be able to sort of buy an extension of weekend guests that apply to come here and have them just as the weekend guest, a small number. We get to know them, and then when Krishnamurti is here, or when we feel it's possible, then have a seminar. But not start straight away, we're going to have 40, I didn't feel it like that. But the capacity of the place, that is the maximum that could ever be done.
At times 30 or 40, like you said, as you suggest.
Yes. But with intervals apart, the same as Krishnamurti talks with 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 people. But he doesn't do it every week. He does it once a year here and once a year somewhere else. Yes. Well, you don't really mean that.
No, I don't. No. I'm asking something. Will they interfere with the school, staff and school? Or will they act as a challenge to all of us? I want to put all this. You understand what I'm saying?
I think it's up to us.
And that's what I'm...
We've got to find out the difference.
I mean, man comes from somewhere and he has read various religious books, tried various meditations, and comes here and says, look, I want to find out what you all think about meditation. Have you meditated? Do you know what it means? Would such a person act as a challenge, or would you say, my God, he's a bore?
I think he'd be quite a challenge as visitors often
So you are entering into a very dangerous game into this. Don't fool yourself.
I mean, the guests that do come here already are very often quite a challenge.
What?
The guests who do come, the weekend guests. And
no, this is weekend guests, but this man is very serious.
Some of the weekend guests are Christian.
I am asking something different, lady.
Sorry.
Which is, I'll take an Indian who is a scholar, who's been to Zen Buddhism, this, that, the other various forms of meditation. He has tried them all. He hears there's a group of people at Brockwood who have studied K, and his meditation, there's no his, but we say, I want to go there and find out if these people are really serious, if they have done any meditation at all. He comes here and says, what? I'm asking. He says, he questions you. Tell me, will you be able to meet him? Not weekend people. I don't mean that. You understand what I'm saying?
Not really, Krishnamurti, because I think those weekend people are also
No,
serious people.
I'm taking a specific case, forgive me. Will you be able to meet such a man and question him, argue with him, go into it?
I think that's what we're going to see.
I'm asking you, for God's sake, I'm asking you.
That's what we would like to do, and even now, sir. But
also?
That's for myself. I feel that is what I would like to do.
That's what I'm asking you. Will you be able to meet him?
And the thing that prevents us now is our attention to all kinds of other things. I would love to have the time to actually meet someone like that.
Not only meditation, he says, I've worked on myself about images. I've gone into a great deal. I see what case is very important, etc., etc. He comes here and says, please let's discuss it. And it becomes, have you got rid of your images? It goes into it. And will you be able to meet him? That's what I'm asking.
Well, we worked on our images too. And so
I'm asking you, sir.
Yes.
Or we're a closed club. I'm not being insulting. And we keep everybody off who is very, very direct and active mentally. You follow me? Demanding.
I feel that's the kind of people we want here, which will bring life to this place.
You will have them, sir. You will have them. I assure you. Will you be able to meet them?
Well, it may be uncomfortable sometimes, but,
You're asking us something about the quality with which we live these things. And
No,
go into
sir,
them
I'm not
ourselves,
asking
aren't you?
quality. I'm asking you, man like that comes here and challenges you, questions you. He says, I want to discuss with you people.
Well, our ability to respond to all that is going to depend on the extent to which we realize that we live it. It's a fact. Those things are facts for us.
So I find you haven't walked at it at all, and I walk out.
It's very possible, sir.
That's what I'm asking you.
Oh, Krishnaji, we do have to sit and answer you, and that's probably the biggest...
I haven't put the screws on, I assure you.
Well, you started.
It only feels like it.
No, I want to
Well,
know.
you have lived with us.
Please, I've been very quiet with... No, I am a man like me comes along. She says, I've spent 10 years in meditation. And there are people like that. I've meditated in one way in Zen, Tibetan, Hindu, all the rest of this stuff. And I hear a great case talks about meditation, and I've gone into it, and I want to come here, and I hear these people are serious. A question. Have you done any meditation? Do you know what meditation means? All the rest of it. Not me, take some other thing. He talks about images. Have you got rid of your images? I know I've got few. And he says, I know, but I want to discuss with you so that it'll help me to free my images. Will you be able to meet him?
I'm not even sure that it's a question of meeting him. It's surely meeting each other. We both... Surely it's a question of meeting each other, not us meeting him, but that somehow... we both have images, and we're both interested in the same thing. I can't see this as us meeting him.
What if a man asks, what are you doing about it? Do we get together and see if we can't remove these images? You see, that's what I'm asking you. Is it?
No, Krishnaji, we do get together one-to-one, and we also
Let's not get together once in a while. I'm talking about a man or a group of people who have come here, shaved head or whatever it is, and say, look, this is a very serious matter. I want to go into it with all of you. Yes, it's time. 5, 10 past.
Krishnaji, you seem to be saying that almost that we have to be totally free of our images in order to meet this person. And in a sense, I feel that we would all feel that we're not, but that we would be as equally interested as the other person to be free of images.
I can't hear that.
So that you seem to imply that we have to be entirely free of images.
Not in the least. Not in the least. A stranger, come here, and I've worked at it, and there are images still in me, and I say, I want to discuss with you people. Help me. Apparently you're a group of serious people who have been talking about this, listening, working, and let's discuss it. Let's go into it.
Krishnaji, I think one of the first things is to ascertain that he really does recognise that he does have images still. I mean,
come off it, sir. Don't go into... I mean, I'm asking you, will you meet my challenge?
Yes, because our interest is in those things.
Yes, I understand that.
If we take this direction with Brockwood, it is really that we want to go into it deeply with the person who comes with ourselves, and that is the work we are going to do. No?
I don't know, I'm asking.
Well, I think in some sense, I mean, in some sense it is something of a leap. I mean, if you take a leap, you don't necessarily know, you don't necessarily know where you're going to land. But you think that to take a leap is probably the right thing to do, which is what we're doing. Now, another thing that you could say is that because a great deal of energy goes in fielding minor problems, or they may not be minor problems, but they're juvenile problems, in which a lot of energy is used up, a lot of energy is dispersed. This leap or this movement implies that we wish a greater intensity in what we're doing. At least that's what I want.
Look, sir.
So if this man arrives, then I would welcome him.
I'm asking you. I come from Timbuktu, and I say, Mr. Smith, I want to know, have you done any kind of meditation? What has been your response? What kind of meditation? How far have you gone into it? How will you answer him? Have you done any meditation?
Yes.
How far? What has done to you? I'm going to question you because I'm questioning myself. Do we meet such a man? Right? What are you all silent about?
Well, it seems, Krishnamurti, that's what we want to do in any case. So what's the problem? That's why we're asking people here.
What the problem
we're
is...
We're not saying we're doing it.
Are you doing it so that you meet me at my level?
But
what's that?
This is why we...
What?
It seems to me you're suggesting we better begin now.
Better start it now. That's all I'm... Quite right, sir. Quite right.
But I think we've already started, sir. It's not
starting
now.
Next week you're going to meet somebody. See, when I go to India, as I'm doing now, I meet every type of person. Scholars, monks, quacks, and all the rest of it. And some of them are terribly serious about their own meditation, their own perception, their own God, all that. You have to work like hell to break it all down. You follow? So that is going to be your challenge. That's all I'm saying. Right? You better start now. As Dr. Bones says, you better begin. Last year, there was a communist at the seminar. He was for perpetual revolution. Trotsky's idea. He said that I've just discovered this. There must be perpetual revolution. I said, what do you mean, sir? So he went into it. I said, this is what Trotsky said 50 years ago. Or you something new? So you were stuck. It's enough, isn't it? Better stop, right? So get ready. All right, sirs. I am going to be your challenger when I come back. Right? I'm going to be a man from Timbuktu who has studied, who has meditated, who has gone into Tibetan meditation, who knows what it means, the Zen, the Hindu, Buddhist, and the latest quack meditations, and what Kay talks about. I want to know what you have done about it. I'm going to...
I'd ask him why he'd taken so long to get here. I'd ask him why he'd taken so long to get here.
Because I didn't know. I thought this was a school. Now you've just opened the gate for me to come in. No, many people at the gathering have said, why do you have a school? Moment they know this thing is open for that kind of thing, you'll have hundreds of people. You'll be inundated. Quacks, semi-neurotics, and etc., etc. And very few people who will be able to challenge you. Well, I'm going to start it next year when I come back. May I?
If you will.
Right.